I've been steampunked.
Oh, right in the wallet. These spiders are an homage to Terry Kavanagh's VVVVV.
Great game.
Amazing, yep.
Beautifully difficult and frustrating game.
Yep.
And that soundtrack. God damn, that soundtrack.
Yeah, I programmed a lot of this game to that soundtrack. So this room's actually a little easier than it used to be because these guys, I don't know why they're not. Well, they're not firing because I'm not right directly under them. But they have. I tweaked these guys, their AI a little bit, so they're less aggressive here. But all these blocks are breakable.
Mm-hmm. So they would conceivably be destroying those blocks,
and then there's spikes underneath you, so those will damage you. So probably make the level a little harder. Okay, so here's the first upgrade to one of the powers. So it's the artillery upgrade.
Okay.
So now by pressing up and down, I aim.
You can change the direction of your cannon. Right on.
Yeah. So it's definitely the cannon from Space Invaders, but now it's also useful in this kind of game.
In more than just an upwardly direction.
Right.
So I noticed earlier that when you shot one of the big air squids, it turned into the little ones.
Right.
But by jumping on it, you can bypass that change.
Yeah, and also if you power up your shots.
So, okay.
These guys, the Space Invader guys, are meant to be fought with the tank mode especially.
Sure.
So there's a couple things that make the tank mode much better against them. One is that your power tends to be better in tank mode, and you've got a charge beam you get later. So they all have a thing where they get kind of aggressive if you damage them just a little bit.
Okay.
So the magenta octopedes split into two and go right for you. The cyan squids. Oh, here, he got damaged. He just basically turns into a little red torpedo, goes after you.
Oh, right on.
And the green bug guys fire directly at you. Their AI is turned off right now. I don't know why. So these force fields here fire back at you.
So if you were to be hit by that, you would be damaged.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can use it to break blocks that are under you. So there's strategic value to it. Too.
Sure.
But then those are all destroyed by hitting those power blocks.
Sure.
And the item I'm about to get soon is the missile launcher, and the missiles go right through that.
Okay. So then it's not necessarily a mission to get up top to be able to hit the power button. It's a mission to get the missiles so you can shoot through the force field to hit the power button.
Well, in this case, it ends up working out both ways, but yeah.
So what made you go with that? Or where did you... I mean, I know this is probably a pretty silly question, but where did you get the idea to make it kind of a transforming gameplay sort of thing?
Well, actually, that was just the idea to start out with, but it started out as an arcade-style shooter with 3 forms, and then I just have a bunch of enemies attack you, and you transform to respond to the threats.
Mm-hmm.
That was sort of back in the day of Flash games where you could make a game that was just like, fight this wave, get some power-ups, spend it, or get some currency, spend it on power-ups, go back through, like, that design, that, like, world of design's kind of dead now.
Sure.
Flash games are not as huge as they used to. That's a sound bug. Cool. So yeah, I've got the...
So now you've got this turret.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you have to remain stationary in that form.
Yeah. But you can shoot in basically any direction. So.
Okay.
Okay. And then you can also use the reticle
to
pick things up. So then your missiles just get faster. and you also can see I can only shoot 3 missiles at a time. I'm respawning them. So the other thing that I get when I power up is the reloads. Basically, the regeneration of those missiles increases. In speed.
Okay.
Yeah. So these guys are like just ripe for that. You just hit them once, and they're because they have 1 hit point, and then they're. Okay, here's the.
Oh yeah, the fully upgraded
fireball. Yeah. It's actually not always as useful as the second one.
Sure.
That's intentional too. Okay.
I like the second one because I didn't realize until you mentioned it. Like that is totally the Super Mario Land fireball,
and they've never used that again.
No, they haven't. And there is a lot that I like about Super Mario Land.
Yeah,
and probably a lot of it actually has to do with like, I got a Game Boy when it came out, and it had Super Mario Land, and played the hell out of it when I was like 7.
It also it did some really interesting things. It wasn't the same dev studio that made the other Mario games. Yeah,
it stands apart even more so, in my opinion, than 2.
Which was a Miyamoto game. Even though it wasn't a Mario game originally, it still was a Miyamoto game. So it feels like a Mario game.
Yeah.
In retrospect, in a lot of ways.
But with the themes are so distinctly different in 2. And like, I think you've got Goombas and turtles, and then you've got like that weird jumping fly thing. And
that fly is from Mario Brothers.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Fighter Fly.
No kidding.
Directly out of Mario Brothers.
Huh. Because that always seemed kind of weird to me.
The turtles turn into bombs.
Yes.
Because I think it was because like, okay, well, we need the shells have to be damaging to you, but we just don't have the processing power. So they explode. But the ricocheting fireballs that can collect coins for you. Why don't they use that again? So this is the classic, like, here's the thing you can't do yet.
Sure.
You need the charge beam to melt these. This is carbonite.
Okay.
And there's an enemy frozen in carbonite. That will come back to life after you melt it. So here's now you definitely need to have gotten the missile launcher and the jump to get out of here. Alright, and here's my first. Oh, this is new too, by the way. I can walk up a slope. That is amazingly difficult to program in Flixel.
Really?
So it's still not perfect, but yeah. That I was doing it in a different way, and I put it back in just really recently. So that's why some of the enemies are acting funny. Alright, so here's your first boss fight, the Octomom. If you're charged up, it's actually pretty easy if you've got your charged up tank mode. I'm gonna die.
Holy crap. This is very Metal Sluggy. It was the octopus, like the giant octopus thing. Like their aliens were very reminiscent of.
Yeah, I guess they were. Yeah, they were not a direct influence, but I have seen that since. They're an octopus because if you read an interview with the creator of Space Invaders, the enemies are based on seafood. A seafood display he saw.
Oh, really?
So they are an octopus, a squid, and a crab.
Huh.
Yep.
What is it with being influenced by food? I recently learned that Akira Toriyama named all of his Dragon Ball characters after food and household appliances.
And underpants.
Yeah. But like it was just like Frieza is named Frieza because of a freezer. Like,
oh, interesting.
Seriously, these are all things. Vegeta is vegetable.
Right.
Like...
That was clear. I think Toriyama's he's an interesting cat.
He certainly has a very distinct art style.
Yes. His slimes from Dragon Quest they make an appearance in here. They don't look the same, but they're like a slime with cute eyeballs. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is a universal recognizable thing.
Yeah, Dragon Warrior was a game I played a whole bunch of as a kid. So this is like one of the first ideas I had when I was going to say, you know what? I'm going to take that arcade game I had idea and turn it into a Metroidvania. I want to have this moment where you get spaceship and you fly like out of a volcano. Here's I can recharge my
Sure.
fuel. You fly out of the ground, fire out of a volcano, and then into space, and then now you're in space.
Oh, holy crap! So then the game just totally changes.
Yeah. And so there's this. Now this is like the overworld, and all of these different planets are essentially dungeons or levels that you can go to.
Okay.
So I can go in here, land. I'm out of fuel, but I got a little bit more, or I can transform into a robot that's capable of jumping. There's a bunch more of the level here. I haven't quite. The plan is to have you revisit this level with all your power ups, and there'll be to have like guys to rescue while a defender.
Sure.
I may still go back and do that, but so there's a bunch of surface stuff that doesn't. There's actually like half this level that you can't access yet.
Okay.
You come back to this world, and there's a whole bunch more to do. I guess here's some extra stuff here. You can kind of get into it. I need to find some fuel.
So then, fortunately, no fall damage.
There's fall. Oh, I might have turned it off, but there's fall damage in certain modes. But there's no fall damage. Oh, here's a life power up that doesn't do anything right now because you have max life to start out with in this game.
Ah.
But you will, and then this will be like, oh hey, yeah, I got a max HP upgrade. Yeah, I'm just collecting fuel from some guys. One thing this game does, which I'm pretty sure a lot of games do, that is sort of a hidden feature. The game looks at what power-ups you need the most and is more likely to give that to you.
Okay.
So if you're low on
sense.
fuel, you're more likely to get a fuel upgrade. Here, I'm above here.
Huh.
And since I have... I can shoot downwards, so I can get down.
Nice.
And here's an area that I couldn't get to before, but I've... Or, well, let's... Oh, my fuel's upgraded already. Okay, so I could go down here. Boom. And I just wrapped around the world. So.
Oh, interesting. I was gonna say, I'm like,
the worlds are semi-spherical. So, suddenly, gravity reversed because I went to the other side of the planet. Yep.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, that comes up more in other worlds too. It's a bunch of the game that is just world or rooms that aren't really done yet.
Oh, that parallax scrolling.
Yeah. Those I need to work on the AI of those scorpion guys. Still tweaking that. I'm gonna do my jump, transform midair thing. Okay. I don't know which button did I map. That one, okay. Jump. Oh, I can do this one. Jump. I'm used to doing this on keyboard. Anyway, you can jump and then turn directly into the rocket, and then use that to...
So then you're essentially using less fuel in order to get to a place.
I think this is an area here where you need to come back with a powered up explosion radius. Yep.
Ah.
So...
I'm not doing a whole lot there. Thup, thup, thup.
Let's open the cheat menu.
Oh, hey.
Explosion upgrade. Do that. There we go.
Much larger radius. There you go.
There's also a death ray, which gets rid of the missiles entirely and just causes the explosion immediately where you click. So yeah, there's optional upgrades in this game too. That's one of them. Okay, I'm gonna uncheat there. I'm just sort of like exploring around this area of the game.
Sure.
I meant to go out into space and show you the next world. I don't have a sword, so I can't get through here yet.
That layout specifically makes me think of Cave Story.
Yeah.
The having to get through certain areas of staggered walls.
Let's yeah.